I'm Mike Quackenbush, and this is Till We Make It. If you aspire to be a WWE superstar, if you are looking for the steps you need to take to join World Wrestling Entertainment, then this video is for, well, the majority of you, but it is not for all of you. For most of you, getting hired by WWE will mean following the same four-step path. It includes preparation, applying to the WWE, wading through the selection and invitation process, and then ultimately trying out. But there are a few select people out there who get to bypass parts of this protocol, and I want to speak to that very quickly at the top of this video. Exception number one. If you happen to be a college athlete who is scouted by the WWE's NIL, that's Next in Line program, you could be fast-tracked directly to a tryout. As an example, that is exactly how Braun Breaker entered the WWE system. Exception number two. Maybe you are a currently working pro at either the independent level or the international level of pro wrestling. And maybe you get scouted by the WWE's ID program, perhaps because you attended a seminar hosted by Gabe Sapolsky or hosted by Jim Smallman. In that case, you could be fast-tracked directly to a tryout or even offered a retainer contract. If you've seen any of the footage of the WWE's Tubi program Evolve, then you have seen some of the talent under contract to the WWE ID system. It includes guys like the super talented Cappuccino Jones. If you aren't a candidate for either the NIL or the ID program, like the majority of people watching this video, then what we're going to go over in the next 45 minutes or so is mission critical to you joining World Wrestling Entertainment. I'm going to walk you through that four-step protocol in greater detail than you will find anywhere else. And for your convenience, each section is time-stamped so you can jump to exactly the information that you need. Those timestamps, they're down below in the descriptus. So let's get to work. Here's exactly what you can expect in the four parts of the video, which are dead ahead. Part one covers all the preparation, stuff you can start doing today, but it's work you will do before you apply to the WWE. In part two, I'm going to walk you through that online application. I'll show you exactly where to find it. I'll walk you through all 6 pages of the application. I'll even show you exactly how to answer every single question on there. And then we'll get into that awkward phase. It's part 3, the selection and invitation process and all the really important details that are part of it. Last but not least, in part 4, I'm going to get you ready for your tryout with inside intel about that process you won't find anywhere else. Last but not least, I want you to know this video contains the most up-to-date information about navigating the whole WWE process out there, combined with my own experience having coached for WWE in years past. So, your preparation must begin with cultivating a telegenic appearance. Do you know what I mean by that phrase? A telegenic appearance means that you have an appearance and manner which is pleasing on screen. It's important to bear in mind, as much as you might imagine you are going to try out for a sports entertaining job with the industry leader, you are every bit as much auditioning to be cast in their television shows. At the corporate level in professional wrestling, the chief product any company makes is a television program. And the WWE makes a lot of that product. They make a whole lot of the red one. They make a whole lot of the blue one. So if you want to be cast in one of their television shows, you must have a telegenic appearance. And if you don't know where to begin, don't worry. I've got a 4-part series on my channel called Level Up. I'll link you to it at the end of today's video. In addition to cultivating a telegenic appearance as part of your preparation, you also need to bear in mind that the WWE prefers a bodybuilder's physique. Give yourself every edge over the competition because at every phase of this process, the odds are going to be against you. Don't disregard the WWE's expectation of a telegenic appearance, nor their preference for a bodybuilder's physique. The second part of your preparation focuses on conditioning, and by this I am referring to both strength conditioning as well as cardiovascular conditioning, because both these areas will be tested as part of the WWE tryout you're going to attend. You need to show up with real strength, not just a cosmetic physique. Do you understand the difference there? You could have surgery for pectoral implants to create the appearance of a bodybuilder's physique. But will that give you any real strength? No, it won't. And the WWE's world-class team of strength and conditioning coaches will clearly know the difference. So you've got to start putting the time in the gym now. Even before you get to the application part of the process, start hitting the gym now. Up third on your preparation to-do list must be public speaking skill. As someone fortunate enough to have observed several WWE tryouts over the course of the last 5 or 6 years, I can tell you firsthand that the skill of standing up in front of a room full of strangers and speaking with confidence and charisma, that is something weighed every bit as heavily as your telegenic appearance and your strength and cardio conditioning by the judges and panelists overseeing that tryout. And if you have a fear of public speaking, that's something you're going to need to conquer before you even consider filling out an application on the Performance Center's website. At your WWE tryout, after you survive the rigorous workout they're going to put you through, you may be asked to stand up and cut a 30 or 60-second promo in front of all the other candidates and the judges and coaches attending. And after you cut that promo, you may be given direction. You may be told that instead of using such a serious tone, they'd like to hear the promo again more lighthearted. Or they might ask you to infuse it with a different emotion. That promo sounded remorseful, and we'd like to hear it more bitter. This is an opportunity for you to demonstrate your coachability. And if this term is new to you, it's important that you know this is a skill that is highly sought after by the WWE right now. Coachability means that you are able to take feedback, direction, input, synthesize it immediately, and then change what you are doing on the spot. Not 5 minutes later, not 2 days later, immediately. That is the quality of coachability. Have you noticed a curious omission from this list? At no point have we discussed having prior pro wrestling experience. Why is that? The WWE's Performance Center, located down in Orlando, Florida, is a state-of-the-art training facility with more rings, more square footage, the most robust faculty of coaches you can find anywhere in the world, and for those reasons and a bunch of others, they're very confident in their ability to mold any potential prospect into a WWE superstar. And you know what? They've got the track record to back it up. Look at the current rosters of Raw and SmackDown. If the WWE likes what they see and hear, they have all the tools they need to make you into a professional wrestler. Once all your preparation work is done, the next step is to apply. And in order to do this, we're going to have to go to the WWE's Performance Center website. I'm going to walk you through all 6 pages of this online application, every mandatory and every optional field, so you know exactly what to do. And to begin this part of the process, I need you to navigate to recruit.wwe.com. I'll put that up on the screen for you. And once you've navigated your browser here, go all the way to the bottom. This big red button, Apply Now, is what you need. And whether you're thinking of applying as a wrestler, a referee, a manager, or other on-screen character, you go through this same process. So we click on Apply Now. This pop-up appears telling us the application is in English only, and you must self-select. Are you a college athlete, or do you fall into the category of all other applicants? Clicking on a college athlete means you played 1 full season of some college athletic program, some college sport. You finished a minimum of 1 season. Anything less than that, you probably don't want to be clicking college athlete here. Take it from a guy who knows.
Unless you happen to be a high-level athlete, much sought-after free agent, or influencer, or quasi-celebrity of some kind, this is how you get in the WWE system. This is how you become considered for the next tryout. And tryouts happen on average every 3 months. Not exactly every 3 months, but on average. For our example, we're going to click on all other applicants, and then you're going to watch me work my way through the application. Here we go. So this whole form is built in Google Docs. If you are logged into your Google account, your Gmail account, like I am, it will pull this up automatically. There's some terrible construction going on outside right now. So if you hear that, you're like, oh my gosh, is that a jackhammer? Yeah, it is. tillwemake@gmail.com. This is me, and you want to verify that this is correct, because odds are, if the WWE reaches out to you about a tryout, the point of first contact is through email. You must make sure this is correct. And then there are 5 mandatory fields we must complete here on page 1. So because none of this gets ingested into the WWE system until you click submit on page 6, I'm just going to fill this out as an example, knowing this is for your educational purposes and that I am not actually submitting the application. So I'm going to put in my first name, Mike. Middle name is optional, last name. What is your gender? What country or region do you hail from? United States is at the top of this list here, which is very convenient. Later on in the process, it's not. You got to scroll all the way down to the letter U to find it. But of course, if you're not from the United States, you need to put your country of origin in. When you've completed these 5 mandatory fields here, country, gender, the 2 for your name, and you verified your email. Anything with the red asterisk is mandatory. Then you are ready to click next, and we're going to move on to page 2. Over here, there are 4 mandatory fields. This is all about your address. Now, if you are about to move, don't worry. Put in your current address here. Later on in the process, if you actually get contacted, you will have an opportunity to update your address. So I live at 123 Kid Lane in Death Valley, of course, which I believe is actually in California. You don't like that? There we go. How about that? Is that right? Probably not. So once you've entered all this mandatory information here, your complete mailing address, page 2 of the application is now done. We're ready to click next and move on. All right, page 3. Now, this is the bear of it. This is the monster page. There are 16 mandatory fields you have to complete. This is all about eligibility. This is when people get disqualified from consideration. This is where it happens most often. So let's take our time working through these. Your nationality. Red asterisk means mandatory. This is all about work permits and visas. So here, because I'm from the United States, I gotta scroll all the way down until I find United States. Additional citizenship. So unless you have dual citizenship in 2 countries, you don't have additional citizenship. I'm putting in the word none. I have no additional citizenships. You have to answer this one. Other nationality. Now, this part of the form needs to be revised, and believe me, if you gotten to this point and you're like, what do I do here? You are not the only person who's been hung up by this. If you don't have another nationality, as we just indicated here, I want you to select the same country a second time. So I am from the United States. I'm going to select the United States a second time because I don't have any other nationality besides this. You can't go forward without answering this question. So my recommendation to you is just duplicate what you've put here. Now, of course, if you do have another nationality, yeah, put that there. But if you don't, this is the way to go. Ethnicity is optional. I happen to be a skinny white guy, so that's what I'm going to put there. Nearest airport city. This means international airport, my friends. Do not put your little regional airport where they have 1 flight a day. put your nearest international airport. Philadelphia has an international airport. That is the right answer for me. It may not be for you. It might be something you have to Google, like international airport near me. If you are going to be invited to a WWE tryout, this is important. That's why it's mandatory. Your home phone is optional. I don't have a home phone anymore, but I do have a cell phone number. It's not this. This is just for an example, but you can have fun calling that number if you want. Highest level of education? I did some college, but I didn't graduate from college. Pro wrestling ruined my life, so I've only got some college. Height in inches. So for those of you on the metric system, you might want to get a converter handy. You can Google this up very readily. I'm exactly 6 foot tall, so I just multiply that 6 feet by the 12 inches in a foot. I get 72. I am 72 inches tall. My weight in pounds. Again, if you're on the metric system and you weigh kilos, you want to convert this online. So something as simple as convert kilos to pounds is going to bring up an easy converter for you. I'm 191 pounds. Birthday. I will reveal it to you here. It's wrong a whole bunch of places online, but I still appreciate all of you who send me happy birthday messages on March 19th. Choose the type of background that best describes you. So I am a professional wrestler. If you're a referee, a manager, or you're doing some other role at WWE, don't worry, you're going to go to the exact same tryout as everybody else. If you are an athlete who is not necessarily a college athlete, but you define yourself as some other kind of athlete, this is fine. You're going to have to explain it later, though. Otherwise, you are other. I am a wrestler. Do you speak English? I do, and I am a native speaker. I grew up speaking English. Do you speak other languages? Yes. There will be a field later where you can indicate what those languages are. This is mandatory, and this is highly sought after. If you are multilingual, you want to make sure you tell the WWE all about this. Military background, also mandatory. I have no military background. You answer accordingly. Athletic background can be tricky, so here, if you were a high school athlete or you just play something recreationally, this is where you qualify the answer you gave up above, right? So if you said you were an athlete of some kind, you're going to further define that. This includes, are you a musical performer, a theater performer, right? If you answered other, but for example, you are a ballroom dancer, you're a performer. I am a professional wrestler. Summarize your athletic experience. Now, this is important. This is separate from your wrestling experience. So if, like me, you are a working pro in wrestling, that's not what they're asking here. They're asking for other athletic experience. So if you happen to be a power lifter, or you play recreational pickleball, and you feel like you want to tell the WWE about that, this is where that goes. Here, pro wrestling experience, yes. Here I'm going to briefly summarize my wrestling experience. 31 years experience. I'll even include this. Great. So a brief summary of my wrestling experience. Acting experience. Now, I have some minor acting experience, so I'm going to say yes. Public speaking experience. I have done public speaking, so I'm going to answer yes. You answer these accordingly. Now, your social media. At the bottom of these 16 mandatory fields are the social media accounts. You're going to have to answer this in some way, shape, or form. So, I have a Facebook account. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to put the link directly to it here. If I have a Facebook account, and I do, and I don't list it, the WWE is going to find it anyway, and this will make you look evasive. You don't want to look evasive. You don't. I've also got an Instagram account. I haven't logged into Twitter for years, but I guess some people are still using that one. And other social media. I have a YouTube channel. You're probably watching it right now. So I'm going to put that in there as well. So I have filled this out. I'm ready to move on. Page 3 is done. You want to make sure you have answered these as truthfully as you possibly can. And then on to page 4. Now, there's a bunch of optional fields here. There's no mandatory fields, But I'm telling you, you want to treat these like they are mandatory. These are the videos. You want to have these uploaded to YouTube, and what you're going to paste here are YouTube links to the videos, up to 5 that you can include. In my experience, you need to send at least 1. Leaving all 5 of these blank and sending them nothing is not helping your case. And as it says here, they want to see videos of you doing athletic things, of you training, if you have any kind of movement-based skills, like you're a circus performer or any other specialty that you have. Include that here, but you want to keep these relatively short. If it's longer than 3 minutes, don't send it. Cut the video down, upload it to YouTube, and send the link of the shortened version of the video. But you want to include something here. Working pros. You got videos of your matches, and your matches are 10, 12, 15 minutes long? Don't send the whole match. Don't do it. Whittle it down. Don't be sending long videos. The people that have to go through all these applications are not going to watch past the 2 to 3 minute mark anyway. They're going to make up their mind about you before that. Choose judiciously. Send great looking videos that you are proud of, where you look awesome, and nothing else. If you fill in all 5 of them, great. Don't expect them to actually watch all 5, but they'll probably watch 2 or 3 of them. Once you've filled this in, then page 4 is done. We're going to move on to page 5. Page 5 has 3 key fields that you need to fill out. Number 1, you are referred by. So, if you happen to have someone in the WWE's sphere who is vouching for you, I want you to put that name here. So just as an example, I'm putting in Matt Bloom, the head of the WWE Performance Center. So even though Matt Bloom's days of performing as Albert or A-Train or Lord Tensai are behind him now, he's very much in the WWE system, one of the most important people that works there. That name is going to ring a bell. You do not want to put a name here that does not ring a bell. So if you're just putting in some random name, no one at WWE knows Harvey. This is not helping you. Don't put that there. If you don't have someone referring you, this is hurting your chances. You need somebody's help here. Tell us why WWE should be interested in working with you 2,000 characters. Your essay goes here. Do not go over the 2,000 characters. Make sure you check this for spelling and punctuation before you move on. Lastly, do you have any special skills, talents, interests that WWE should know about you? Now, you'll remember a couple pages back, we talked about how highly sought after multilinguists are. So, if you speak other languages, you want to detail all of them here. This will catch someone's eye, I guarantee it. And then, of course, any other special skills, talents, interests that you have that might be appealing to WWE, include them there. If you happen to also be a bodybuilder, include that here. They love that kind of stuff. But once you have very strategically answered these 3 questions, we're ready for the last page of the application. We're ready to move on to page 6. And page 6 is where all the photos go. This is the last page of the application. Before you go to the bottom and you click submit, you need to have these photos added in. Now, headshot, head-to-toe body shot, and recruit's choice. Let's talk about these because this is some of the most important information you're sending with your application. You need to have a professionally shot headshot. A professional photographer took your headshot. So I have my most recent headshot here. Let's get this up. Boom. There is my headshot. This is what I'm uploading with my application, a professionally taken headshot. A head-to-toe body shot. That is exactly what you think it is. So I have a recent head-to-toe body shot here. I don't know if it's cut off at all, but it does go all the way down to my toes. This is me in my wrestling gear. This is the head-to-toe body shot I am including with my application. And a recruit's choice. Unless the only record of something truly remarkable was shot on your mom's iPhone, like you won the silver medal at the Winter Olympics, and that for some reason is the only photo of that exists, you want something shot by a professional photographer here. The recruit's choice should also be something shot by a pro photographer. So I think this is the one that I want to include with my application. This is me performing in the ring where the crowd's going crazy for me. It looks like I have a very positive and energized rapport with the audience. This is what I want them to see. I'm going to include that. You might have a really cool action shot. If it's not because you happen to be a current wrestler, maybe it's from something you did in your athletic background or your performance background or something else awesome that you did that you want WWE to see. You're just going to add that file in. Each of these has to be 10 megabytes or under, so don't try sending a photo that's 2 gigs. It's just not going to work. It's going to kick you out, and then you've got to redo this page. Some information requested in this form may qualify as sensitive personal information. You answer accordingly. None of this is all that personal to me. You can come visit me at 123 Kid Lane. Last but not least, you have to agree to the terms of use, the privacy policy, blah, blah, blah. You got to do all of that. Do you want to read it? Maybe, but you do have to agree before you can click submit. If you don't, it's not going to happen. This is a required question. Once you've done this, you are ready to click submit, and only at this point does everything you've submitted, including all the links and the photos, actually go to the WWE Talent Office.
Once you submit your application to the WWE, the most awkward phase of this process begins. It's the waiting. And you will wait, but there are only a few possible outcomes during this phase, during part 3. The selection and invitation process. And I want to let you know exactly what's going on during part 3, as well as what you should be doing. You should know, the WWE's Performance Center website receives hundreds of applications every single week, of every single month, of every single year, from hopeful future WWE superstars. And it's entirely possible that once you click send on your application, that you will simply never hear back from the WWE. In fact, that's what happens to the majority of applicants. But it is possible that they'll take an interest, at which time they will reach out to you asking for you to confirm you are interested to try out. And if you do confirm, you may be issued an invitation to their next tryout. Most years, they hold 4 tryouts inside the Performance Center located in a suburb just outside of Orlando, Florida. But you need to be patient at this part of the process because of the incredible number of people all hoping to be considered. It may take up to 1 year for you to hear anything back. And at which point you actually get an invitation to a tryout, no matter when that date might be, you need to accept it. Okay, real talk. I get that you may have agreed months in advance to serve as the best man at your brother's destination wedding. I get that the weekend of the WWE tryout might unfortunately overlap with Nana's 90th birthday party. And I am here to tell you, if you decline their invitation for any reason, although I can assure you, everyone you'll communicate with in the WWE offices will be nothing short of diplomatic and professional at every stage of this interaction. The moment you decline, for any reason whatsoever, you're done. Your chances are over. There is a reason why in every single documentary about every single WWE superstar, there is some amount of footage in which they discuss all the sacrifices they have made to live the pro wrestling lifestyle. And this may be your first brush with that kind of sacrifice when you have to sit down and tell your brother that you're not going to be at his wedding because you are going to the WWE tryout. This next part is key, so listen carefully. In the interim period between when you send your application to the WWE and when you arrive for your tryout, you need to spend that time working furiously to get yourself into better shape than you were in the photos you submitted as part of your application. And here's why. At your tryout, every coach judging the candidates will have a binder in front of them with your application and the photos that you uploaded. And if you appear in front of them looking as if you are in worse shape than in the photos that you sent, it will create the impression that you did not come to this tryout with your A game. In fact, they will feel as if you are wasting their time. It is considered an insult to the WWE that you would not show up in the best shape of your life. And that's exactly the impression I want you to make. So make sure you show up at that tryout looking more impressive than you did in the photos you submitted with your application. Okay, in the days that follow your acceptance of the invitation, you'll be sent some medical forms you're going to need to complete with your primary care physician. And this is likely to include some tests like an EKG of your heart and some blood work. And along with this packet, it will be stipulated how far in advance you must have everything returned to the WWE's office. If it tells you that you must return all the documentation at least 14 days prior to your tryout, I'm telling you, you want to beat that deadline by at least 7 days. You deserve to know, even after you've submitted your application, accepted the invitation, and returned the medical forms on time, it is possible something could eliminate you from candidacy, at which point the WWE will revoke their invitation to the tryout. And this could be things like they see something in your blood work which is concerning to them, or they discover something problematic in your social media history. And as I said at the top of this video, the majority of the tryouts do take place down in Florida at the Performance Center itself. However, they also host international camps all the time, based on what they are casting for at that particular time and the business needs of the WWE. Here's a perfect example. Shortly after signing a 10-year deal with the government of Saudi Arabia, valued at $500 million, the WWE very promptly announced they'd be having a tryout in Riyadh, the capital city of that country. This is not coincidental. This is strategic. So, odds are your tryout will take place where the majority of them do, down at the PC in Florida. But as a preemptive strike against the question I get asked more than anything else on this topic, if you actually survived to this part, you got past the thousands of other applicants, received your invitation, returned your medical forms on time, and passed all of those tests, including their background check, yes, the WWE will pay for your travel to the tryout. They will buy you a flight. They will put you up in a hotel. They'll even bus you back and forth from the Performance Center. And many of your meals will be accounted for as part of the process because the hotel where the WWE will put you up has a complimentary breakfast in the morning. And they bring in lunch at midday so that the people trying out don't need to leave the Performance Center in order to eat. It is likely, though, you'll be paying out of pocket for your dinners. So, you returned all your medical forms on time. The WWE has combed through your social media, performed their due diligence, and at last, the date for your tryout has been set. Amazing, but now what? Before you depart for the weekend-long tryout, you are likely to be given instructions about what to wear. And these specific guidelines have changed a little bit in recent years, in part because the WWE now likes to make sure that everyone trying out is wearing WWE-branded clothing. That way, everyone looks nice and uniform in photographs, whereas just a few years ago, this was not always the case. One thing that has not changed, though, is this. You cannot appear nor train in any top with open armpits, like a tank top. And this means not in their medical bay, not in their strength and conditioning room, not on the floor of the PC itself. So whatever instructions you are given regarding acceptable attire, follow them to the letter and pack your bag accordingly. Pro tip for you. If you think you will need 3 sets of workout gear to get you through the weekend-long tryout, pack double that amount. Here's why. If during the morning session you sweat through your socks, I want you to have a clean pair at the ready to switch into during the lunch break. At every stage of the tryout, I want you to look clean, confident, and impressive. Never soggy, sweaty, or stinky. Got it? 24 to 48 hours before you depart for the weekend-long tryout, you are going to go and get a fresh cut. You're going to have your facial hair groomed. You're going to go and get waxed, spend time in the tanning bed, have your teeth whitened, do whatever will make you feel your most confident and look your sharpest. Sports entertainment is a cosmetic business, and every detail of your appearance is going to be scrutinized from the moment this audition process begins, by every single coach, by every single judge or panelist overseeing the weekend. And you need to impress them from the very first second they see you. This is really what happens the moment the tryout begins. The coaches and the other panelists judging the tryout begin mentally eliminating candidates from consideration. They're making up their minds about who they don't want to see advancing to the next round of consideration. And as they're making those mental eliminations, they start turning to the people next to them to confer with them and explain what it is exactly that they don't like about how he looks, about how she presents, about how they don't look as cut as they did in the photos they sent with their application. And everybody at the tryout will have an identifying number stuck to them, so that if they want to know more about candidate number 77, all they have to do is flip through their binder, and in a moment, they have all the information, including the photos that were submitted as part of the application process, right at their fingertips. Okay, you're all packed. You're looking your best and feeling confident. If your tryout takes place down at the PC, then you will be flying to MCO. That's the International Airport down in Orlando, Florida, which also happens to be the main travel hub for all of the tourism heading to the Disney and Universal resorts. And if you happen to be a fluent speaker of either English or Spanish, you will find navigating this airport to be a cinch. The hotel that the WWE favors for its tryouts is about a 10 to 15 minute drive from the PC, depending on traffic, and you don't have to worry because the WWE will bus you from the hotel to the performance center itself. As the weekend begins, there's going to be some paperwork for you to complete, and one of your first stops will be in the medical bay with the trainers and physicians. There will be some last-minute examinations to ensure that all the paperwork you submitted during the application process is up to date and accurate. And after that, you will proceed into the gigantic strength and conditioning room, the PC's gym, where you will work out. And you'll do so under the watchful eye of the world-class strength and conditioning coaches that the WWE employs. Pro tip for you. Even if this workout inside the Performance Center's gym is framed to you as a warm-up, make no mistake about it. This is not some low-impact routine of gentle stretching and light calisthenics you are about to embark on. It is a rigorous workout likely to last 4 hours, and many people will begin dropping before it's even over. You will absolutely see people from this pool of candidates eliminated from contention before you even touch a WWE ring. So it's finally time for you to walk through the doors of the WWE Performance Center. Your future is riding on what happens in the next 48 hours. Here's the inside intel that's going to give you a leg up on everyone else vying for that same contract. There is a ton of multimedia out there about the tumbling exercises you're going to do, the in-ring drills you can expect, about the short promos that you're going to cut as part of the tryout. But what I'm going to share with you now, no one else is talking about. And to start, let's cover the 4 types of people you are going to encounter as part of this tryout experience. Number 1, people that work in the talent department, and those are folks that answer directly to Triple H. And people on the WWE's medical team. That includes trainers and physicians. And here's what you need to know about those 2 groups of people. These members of the WWE team are all genuine professionals who are very good at their jobs, but are a little overworked. And this is because the environment in which they work becomes stressful due to how busy and how demanding all of it is. And on the one weekend of your life, when you need everyone that you encounter to be pulling for you, when you need everyone to be rooting for you to succeed, heed this advice. Make their lives easier. If you do, they're going to make your life easier. And in every interaction you have with everyone that works for WWE, whether it's the big boss all the way down to the security guard at the front door, you are going to kill them with kindness. Do you know what I mean by that expression? It means that you are going to be so polite, so pleasant, such a ray of sunshine in their life that they just can't help but like you. Or if you just want to go ahead and ruin your chances of signing with the WWE, try being rude to Melissa at the front desk. See where that gets you. While you are working up a sweat, both down on the floor of the PC and up in the ring, you are no doubt going to encounter people from this third category, the WWE's coaches. And here's what you need to know about these people. Each and every one of the WWE's coaches are long-tenured veterans of the squared circle, and each and every one of them is deserving of the utmost respect and admiration, even if you personally are not familiar with the totality of their work. And you are likely to see these people. Matt Bloom, the head coach at the Performance Center who oversees talent development. Matt enjoyed a long career in the ring under such names as Albert, A-Train, Giant Bernard, and Lord Tensai. And Coach Matt has a great eye for detail. He doesn't miss a trick. Sarah Amato, who enjoyed an in-ring career under the name Sarah Del Rey. Coach Sarah is a graduate of the wrestling school that I own, the Wrestle Factory, and before signing with World Wrestling Entertainment, she also served as a coach for me. One of the many things I admire about Coach Sarah is her work ethic, and each and every time I see her, it only reaffirms the high regard I hold her in. Terry Taylor, probably best known to WWE fans for his stint as the Red Rooster during the Hulkamania boom of the 1980s. But believe me when I tell you, his time as the Red Rooster in the WWF doesn't even scratch the surface of the long and distinguished career Coach Terry has had. With 40 plus years of experience, he broke in back in 1979, he is an invaluable wealth of insight coupled with unparalleled experience. Norman Smiley, who not only enjoyed fame in WCW, but also in Japan and Mexico, where he sometimes performed under the name Black Magic. Coach Norman has been training stars for the WWE for over a decade. In fact, his tenure with them even predates the invention of NXT. It dates all the way back to the FCW developmental territory. Coach Norman is quite simply the most patient coach I have ever observed in all of wrestling. And between the ropes, he is smooth as silk. Robbie Brookside, who enjoyed a long in-ring career under the name Robbie Brookside. Coach Robbie came up during the latter years of the golden era of World of Sport Wrestling on ITV in Great Britain. You may know I am renowned as the master of 1,000 holds, so you won't be surprised to discover that I can be a bit of a snob when evaluating the technical wrestling abilities of others. And I can tell you with all due snobbishness, Coach Robbie is one of the finest to ever lace up boots. We've covered the talent department, the medical team, and the coaches. And now we've got to talk about this final category, because it's at this phase of the tryout you are likely to encounter faces you recognize from TV. It's entirely probable that this is when you might see a Shawn Michaels or a William Regal out on the floor of the PC, either interacting with the candidates or watching from a vantage point to assess the group. Sometimes even Triple H makes himself part of these proceedings. Shawn Michaels, in particular, has a lot of influence over the direction of their developmental league, NXT. So, it is critically important you listen to this next part. When Shawn Michaels walks up to shake your hand, you are not going to react like a fawning fanboy, even if you have idolized Michaels for your entire life, because that is not appropriate for this context. Make this your mindset. In the tryout context, you are a candidate for hire, and Michaels must be regarded as your future boss. In this scenario, he has a lot of sway over who gets hired and who does not. And you must keep in mind that you are there hoping to be cast in one of their TV shows. You are there competing for a 3-year contract tied to a lot of money. This is a job interview context, which is very different from an autograph signing or a meet and greet with WWE legend, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. In those scenarios, it might be appropriate to react like a fan, but not in this scenario. This is a tryout. This context demands that you behave like a candidate for hire who is interacting with a potential future boss, not behaving like a fan. If you end up in the top 5 or 6% of the candidates auditioning at your tryout, you may be offered a 3-year deal with the WWE. And when you sign that contract, you'll be expected to relocate to the greater Orlando area down in Florida, where you'll begin training inside the Performance Center about 4 days a week. Slowly, you'll rise your way up through the NXT ranks, first appearing on their non-televised live events, then making the jump to NXT TV. And that is the springboard to the Raw and the SmackDown brands. It's also the same path that Liv Morgan followed. It's the same path that the Street Profits followed. And it may be the path that you will follow too on your way to becoming a WWE superstar. If you want my top tips and tricks for passing a WWE tryout, well, click on the video that's appearing on screen right now. That way you can keep on learning. Or, as promised earlier in today's video, also appearing on screen is a link to my 4-part series, Level Up, which is all about looking your very best.